All right, good evening, team. We're going to get stuck into the F45 challenge information night for challenge 36, which is coming up as well. So this one is a 6-week challenge. So what we're going to be going through tonight, or if you're watching this replay, is what's coming up in the 6-week challenge. We're running this one differently to what we have before. So we're not just putting people in teams, we're putting people in groups based on their goal they want to achieve, and each of them are going to have different targets. So that it's a little bit different to what we've done before, and we've never done a strength team before, but we've been asked in quite a lot of our customer surveys to you guys to have a little more focus on strength and fitness within the challenge itself. So we've added that as a component. We've also got a weight loss team or a lifestyle team as well. So we've covered pretty much all bases in there. I'll go through how each of them has a slightly different when we get to that part of the Infinite, but we're going to also be going through how to get the most out of the challenge, how to get the best results, and a little bit more in terms of the structure and everything with it as well. So I'm going to jump straight into one, and I've got a little presentation. Just, can you guys see that as well?
Yep.
Awesome.
Very clear.
Good. Always wonder with this tech stuff. When it works well, when it doesn't, it's a different story. All right, so this one is called the 6-week circuit breaker. So a bit of backstory with this one. This is one of the most differed challenges F45 has produced. As you probably heard, it's the 36th challenge they've done. Each time they've brought on something quite new to the foray, and each time they've tried to do something a little bit different with it. But one of the things they have done really well in the last probably year or two is they've changed up a lot of the nutrition with it, which makes it so much easier to follow. So there's basically options now based on how busy you are, your goals, and what you want to achieve, which makes it really, really super simplified. I'll jump to that in a second. Circuit breaker. I know we've had a lot of people coming back into the studio, a lot of people trying to get back into the swing of things after Easter, and this is all about that. We want you guys building good habits, breaking that circuit, and re-engineering your routine. So it's all about building those habits and making it nice and simple for you, and that's what each of the different groups are going to do. Awesome. So again, so the challenge app itself, guys, if you haven't already, feel free to do it while we're on this information night. Jump onto your phone, search F45 challenge, and you can download that app. If you have an active membership, that will be live for you and ready to go as well. So it will link to your active F45 member. If that is running, then you'll be able to access everything in there. The challenge app has come a long way, and there is a ton of resources in there as well. There's workouts that you can do outside of the studio. So if you're on holidays or something, you can still get your training session in, or if you're at home stuck with the kids, you can still get the same workout in, which is put into a body weight or a weighted workout. There is all your nutrition on there. You can order all your food through there, do all your tracking through there. So they've really built that out. So that's going to be your best tool along with us at the studio to run through. So the F45 challenge, guys, it's a science-driven wellness transformation program. So we're designed to create body transformations. That is the primary goal of the challenge. It's a 6-week program for F45 with world-class training, goal-targeted nutrition, where they can achieve their goals through the fundamentals of healthy lifestyle. Within the challenge, guys, what it does is they're now using customized meal plans on the challenge, which is something which has been around for about the last year. And that is what's going to help you guys get to your goals, because every single person that is listening to this one is a different body shape, have different goals. So what the challenge app will basically, you can do is when you put in all your metrics and put in what you want to achieve, it'll work out your calories. From there, it'll actually work out your macronutrients, your proteins, fats, and your carbs. And it'll actually break down each of the different meals too. So it does that end-to-end process, which is pretty it's pretty challenging to build something that can do that. And we're pretty happy that we have something there that can help you achieve that. And for you guys, it makes it really easy. When this stuff can get really complicated, what we want to try to achieve is a program where you're coming to train every single day and the program set for you, which is aligned to your goals. And same with your nutrition. We're trying to really simplify the whole process. So all we require is you guys to help put in the effort on your end. We as coaches keep you accountable and keep you in the forefront with it. And that's how we're going to get the best long-term results. Ooh, sorry. So challenge phases. So in the actual challenge itself, there's going to be different types of phases. So there's 3 educational phases. One key difference, what we do at the moment is if your goal is, say, weight loss, you'll be working in a calorie deficit. Now, the best way to do this in a long-term scenario or even in a 6-week program is to have a sustained calorie deficit. So the reason why these are educational phases and not nutritional phases is because you don't need to trick your calories week in, week out to achieve results. You need to be consistent with it. So the different phases are based around educating you guys, and with those educations, also making sure that they're things you can take with you, not just for the next 6 weeks, for the next 6 years, the next 10 years. One of the things I've seen with, especially our longer term members that have been around for a while, especially when they have done a couple of challenges, or even when they're listening and paying attention in the studio, and this is probably with your health and fitness journey for, a long time or the rest of your life, because it's a lifelong thing, you're going to pick up these little nuggets as you kind of keep working your way through. So you're going to pick up these little nuggets that you can take with you. So it may be a recipe. It may be something to do with mobility. It may be understanding how to count your macros. It may be just understanding protein. Like there's all these little things that kind of do start to add up and do start to make a difference over time. Each time you learn something new, you can continue to apply it. So the reason why we're going to be a bit bigger on education in this one is because if we can, your goals in the 6 weeks, it's a very, very short time frame. There's only so much you can achieve in 6 weeks, but there's a lot you can achieve from an educational point of view that you can take with you longer term to continue those results. So within each of these phases, I want you to kind of lean in a little bit. We're going to help you out with it. And then these are the things you can kind of help learn down the track too. So phase 1, this one is really focusing on establishing the healthy lifestyle habits through quality nutrition. We're going to do another thing in our studio as well. So first one is, yes, quality nutrition on our studios based on what your team you're in. We're also going to be working on the actual habits, the main habits, which help you get towards your goals. And I'll touch on that when we get to the team section there as well. So members are encouraged to utilize the F45 customized meal plans. Now, this is one of the best resources you have for free as a member for you. When you jump on the challenge app, and if you guys haven't already, feel free to do it while, obviously can't see you guys, but feel free to jump on and do this while we're in this info night. You can jump onto your app and you can actually put in your metrics, your height, weight, those kind of things, and your goal. What it will do is it will then put you in a calorie category. So it'll give you maybe, let's say 9 to 100 calories. From there, it'll actually work out the different meals that you can actually be eating, which will align to your calorie intake, which will help you get towards your goal. Now, one of the best things with the challenge app and with the meals there is you can actually swap out meals and you can search meals based on food types. It's a huge recipe library. And to be honest with you, it's probably one of the best ones I've seen outside of F45 just in general. And there are apps dedicated to doing this. There's something like 2,500 to 3,000 recipes on there. So I'll use an example. Say you love to eat chicken and veggies, for example, or you love stir fries or something like that. You can actually search for certain meats, certain types of recipes in certain calories too. So if you look at a meal and you go, you know what, I don't like that, you can actually swap it out for something which you do like to eat, which has the same macronutrients. And that's really important because, to be honest, if we tried to give you something that you don't like because it will help you get towards your goals, really simply, you're just not going to stick to it. And it's not because you're not, motivated to do it. It's because you don't like it. And to be honest, you should be liking what you're eating. You should be liking what you're training. And if you are, you're going to get better results. So we're not trying to give you meals you don't like. We're trying to give you meals that are healthy, that are aligned with your goals, and that you want to eat. I know this sounds really basic with it, but it's something which a lot of the times down the track, PTs, and that can sometimes give you meals which you don't like to eat. And it's just, you don't need to eat in a certain way. You do need to be consistent with what you're doing and enjoy it as well. So that's a really, really good utilization there too. And we're trying to get consistent eating. Now, there's a couple of key things which the meals will do. There is nutrient dense and quality food. And these are two different terms here a little bit. So nutrient dense food are foods which are going to be, they're quite wholesome foods. They're going to give you a lot of energy. There's nutrient dense and there's volume dense as well. Volume dense are foods which are they're larger in volumes but don't have so many calories in it. I'll give you an example. Lettuce is a volume dense food. You can have a lot of lettuce and that doesn't have much calories in it. Chocolate is a calorie dense food. You have a little bit of chocolate and it's going to have a lot more calories than the lettuce has, for example. So when we're within the meal that they're doing, they're trying to keep you fuller for longer. So they're going to be nutrient dense, so that way you feel full. So proteins, meats, those kind of things. Quality food, so wholesome foods, and they're going to be volume dense as well. So give you enough fuel to train and help you recover. And also, guys, if I try not to go over this too quickly, but I'm also trying to be really, because everyone that's watching this, I know you're at different stages. So if some of this doesn't make sense or you have further questions, please feel free to ask me at the end or even jump in on the chat or anything like that. Phase 2, so weeks 3 and 4 is focused on quality nutrition, so pre and post workout meals and fueling for workouts. So a lot of the times when you're eating, we're focused on recovery. Almost everything you're doing outside the gym is recovering for the next day. So when I know we talk a lot about sleep patterns, we talk a lot about protein. Everything you're doing is about recovery for the next session. One of the main challenges that we get is that protein in the health and fitness space has previously, I think it's kind of changed a bit now. It used to be associated with bodybuilders and getting really strong and really big. Protein is great for weight loss, fantastic for weight loss for a range of different reasons as well. Protein, what it does, and we talk about it a lot, particularly in this phase and just in the industry in general, protein is the most important macronutrient. It's the one you should focus on more than carbs and fats. The reason being is because you eat protein, it keeps you fuller for longer. So when you eat chicken, for example, it's something that will keep you quite full for a sustained period of time. Whereas if you're eating pasta, for example, it's something you can graze quite quickly. And I'm sure you guys have all had that experience where you can kind of keep eating your breads, your pastas. With your meats, it's quite a bit harder because it keeps you full for longer. The other thing as well, it helps you recover. And that's really important when it comes to building back your muscle glycogen supplies, because it'll help your muscles recover. And the other thing protein does too is your body has to work harder to break it down in your stomach, which actually means, yes, you do burn more calories, or your metabolism works faster when you eat protein. So that's one of the most important things here. So just making you aware of nutrition in that sense too. These nutrition sources and their quality, there are nutrition blogs on the Challenge app, which will come out through these phases too. So I'd highly encourage you guys to jump onto that. We will be putting some on our members' pages and doing some on our socials as well to help with that educational piece. That's phase 2. Phase 3 is focused on micronutrients, so optimal performance. So when we're talking micronutrients, what we mean are like things like vitamins. So why are vitamins important? How do they play a part? Minerals, and all the micronutrients, which a lot of these are in foods, but understanding why it's important to have magnesium, zinc, those kind of different vitamins within fruits, for example. Those things are really important for understanding how your body works, and also really important for utilizing, for your stomach to help with acidic levels. You've probably heard of detoxes before. This doesn't do a detox, but the reason why detoxes are effective is because when you're eating a lot of foods which are highly processed, so Coca-Cola, lemonade, anything with sugars, for example, what happens is they're quite acidic. Your stomach should be at a certain acidic level. When you start having processed foods, the acidic level will rise. Now, why is this important? When you're eating whole foods, your body's trying to basically work to get your acidic levels back to where they should be, so it doesn't break down the foods coming in as efficiently as they should. So you're not getting all the energy out of them. So that's why it's really important to keep that acidic levels down, and it also takes energy away from the body burning fat. So this is why micronutrients are important as well, and also why we highly encourage whole foods. So that's phase 3. So I'm putting through these. So Challenge resources, guys, so Challenge app, and we're at the website portal. So if you haven't already, guys, Download the F45 Challenge app, and there's also a website, www.f45challenge.com, where you can see it all there as well, and they both link to any active account. To learn. So I've kind of touched on this a little bit already, guys, but there are new articles and blogs which will be released each week. So they will just help out with educational pieces and keeping you across the athletics, the nutrition in particular, a big focus on that. So just keep an eye out for those ones. I think they're just really good resource there for you. And they're also timed to align with how you're eating at that time too. Excuse me. So train. So we're going to do too much detail on this one because I want to focus on the challenge specifically, but F45 is broken into cardio and strength days, or conditioning and strength days, on alternating days too. Now, if your goal is weight loss, I want you to focus on an even split of cardio and strength. If your goal is strength, I definitely don't miss the strength days, but I'd still add in the cardio days there too. But your main focus with your energy should be on those strength days. Now, what I probably will touch, because I think most people here are current members, there are different ways to approach those different sessions. On your cardio days, we're looking to burn calories. So it's all about your heart rate, keeping your heart rate up and working to the timings in particular. So when you're doing a cardio day, work to the timings. So if it's a 20-second set, for example, I want you to start focusing on going a little bit faster through that time, getting a few more reps out too. If it's a 60-second set, try to work to a pace which is quite consistent throughout those 60 seconds. That way you are working to how the workout is designed to be. Excuse me. On your strength days, they're very different, and people sometimes approach them similar. Your strength days are designed to try to fatigue the muscle groups each time. So especially if you've been training for quite a while, a few months or even a couple of years, I want you to focus on what's called reverse pyramiding. What does this mean? If a station has 4 sets, I don't want you to go medium weight or lightweight, medium weight, and then go a little bit heavier and almost have too much energy when it comes to that 4th set. You want to try to fatigue your muscles to increase your strength. If it's an exercise you're familiar with, let's say a shoulder press, and I might be doing, 20 kilo dumbbells, try to go heavy in the first set or 2 to the point where you can't lift that weight for all 4 sets. Even if you have to drop the weight down for sets 3 and 4, it means you've got to the point where you fatigued your muscle and you basically have to drop set yourself in that last set or 2. And that's what's going to fatigue your muscle groups. It's going to break down the muscle fibers, which means that you're going to be able to build more strength there too. So there's an important little delineation between the cardio and strength days. Okay, awesome. There's heaps more to that, guys. Any questions on those ones, please ask the trainers, ask myself. We're here to help for you. Track. In the app itself, there is tracking activity. We're going to have tracking in our studios as well with these teams as well. So there's 2 ways you could do it. I definitely want you to do the in-studio one. This one will actually be aligned to that depending on what team you're in. But there are tracking in the app as well, which is awesome, by the way, guys. I've got a really good saying I love. This is true with everything, not just health and fitness. What gets measured gets improved. So if you're measuring your sleep consistently and you're noticing you're getting 6.5 or 5 hours sleep a night, if you're just conscious of it and measuring it, you'll have a good chance of improving it. This is why I love doing the body composition scans. Even if this isn't the challenge you're going to be targeting for a huge weight loss or a strength gain, for example, the reason why I'd still do them regularly is because you see the results and you're tracking it, you'll focus more on it, and the chances are you'll improve it as well. So it's a really good, if there's any key metrics here you want to improve significantly, focus on them and track them, and you'll see an improvement. And of course, there are heaps of stats there as well you guys can add in there. Calorie calculator. Now, this is one of the things I want every single person here to do. The calorie calculator, this is what I was talking about with those customized meal plans. When you put on your metrics and everything in there, it'll give you how many calories as a guide you should be having. Now, to be clear on this one, to get the exact amount of calories, you'd have to basically go into a science lab and get tested. So this is a guide, but it's fairly accurate now. They've got pretty good with understanding how the body works in terms of metabolism and how all the different elements around your height, weight, and what your goals are would work for the calories that you need. So that it would be pretty close to what you should be doing. And as I said, it's a guide. So if you're 50 calories out, for example, it's not the end of the world. We just want to be hitting somewhere around that figure. Couple of key terms, guys. So BMR, basal metabolic rate, just a really fancy word that basically means your metabolism. So your this is basically how much energy you'll burn doing nothing. So if you were lying down the entire day, didn't move your body, you actually burn a fair few calories. In fact, you burn probably half your calories-ish, probably a bit more actually, by doing absolutely nothing. And this is what helps your heart beat, helps your brain function. It helps so many other different things within your body. Basically, your whole body functions. Blood go through your body, and that's by doing nothing at all. Everyone has a BMR. And this is an important factor because even on the days you're not training, doesn't mean you can't lose weight. It means that you're just burning less calories, which means you should be eating a little bit less too. So your TDEE is your total daily energy expenditure. Your BMR makes up one part of that. So this is how many calories you burn in a whole day. So let's say your BMR is 1,600 for argument's sake. You then might burn another 400 calories in your workout. So that's 2,000 calories for the day. You might burn another 400 calories from walking around for the day. And then therefore your total daily energy expenditure is 2,400. I'm just throwing numbers out there that will obviously change per person, but the BMR makes up a large portion of that too. So they are fancy terms, guys. I don't want you to get too confused. The app will work out for you. So I apologize if it's a little technical. The app will work out what you should be doing roughly, and it'll work out the meal plans for you guys. But please feel free to ask me questions on those ones as well. So just as a heads up, guys, there is the people that put these nutrition plans together. There's a whole team with F45 HQ who I actually know personally. They're amazing. They've been around for a long time. They are certified sports nutritionists, dietitians, nutritionists. They're all there's an entire team which is now based in the US. They used to be based in Sydney, actually. They have done a lot of these meal plans that are in there, and the meals have been in there for quite a while. They're created using proper data, proper science. So there's nothing which is just popped in there. They're all tried, tested, and gone through quite rigorous processes too. So just as a heads up with that one too, as you would expect us with F45. The challenge meal plans. I kind of go through a lot of this stuff. Now I'm just not familiar. Yeah, okay, cool. So there's different. This is probably where I'll have to, if you guys think about your own personal scenario, everyone watch this. I know you're really busy, and that's why I really appreciate you even taking the time to listen to this tonight. People are very, very busy. I think we're getting busier as well, come to think of it. People have kids, family, work, partner, friends, you know, they want to go traveling now. There's a lot going on, and I totally understand it. My personal recommendation is that the goal is not to be super militant and drop absolutely everything in your entire life to get a change in your body. The goal is to try to do 80% of things really well and understanding what they are, having a life on the side, enjoying yourself, but at the same time still working towards improving your health, fitness. That for me is a really good goal. Within the meals, you can do home cooked. So
this logo, you don't hear it? You don't hear it. Oh,
yeah. Thanks. I think your microphone might be on.
Sorry.
You're right. You can do home cooked meals. So on the actual app, it'll have a library section on there, and you can purchase basically the ingredients, so you can get everything that you need for your meals and cook at home. Pretty straightforward. That's obviously an ideal scenario. Now, if you don't have the time, or it's just a little tricky, for whatever reason, you can opt to actually purchase the meals directly to you. So you can actually get the pre-cooked meals. So you literally put them in the microwave, you press them on for 2 minutes, and you eat them straight away. They're the fastest ways you can get it done, and they are aligned to your meal plan. I think it's lunch and dinners. So the only meals you actually have to make are your breakfast and your snacks. And the snacks are super simple on there too. Do the one which best suits your lifestyle. And you'll probably know by the end of week 1. So if you try the home cooked meals for week 1 and you're just finding that you missed a few because you held up at work or any reasonable reason, it can be a whole range of them, please purchase the meals on there, because they'll keep you on track. They're super simple, they save you time, and they're not expensive. To order them, they're actually through the app. There's a few companies you can do it with. I saw one just before. You can actually pre-order coming up, and they get sent to you as well. So it's really, really simple. So there's basically options there depending on time or which one you prefer. But there are options there for everyone. So there's lose weight, maintain, and build muscle. They're basically your three categories there. So basic maths, you can see on the left-hand side, TDEE, total daily energy expenditure, basically the total calories you burn in a day. There's a 500 calorie deficit for the weight loss, which doesn't, for those who have done dieting before, it's not a super aggressive deficit, but it's enough to get some pretty serious results, 500. But you won't be starving. We don't want anyone under eating. We want to make sure people have enough energy through the day. They train well and they feel good too. Maintain weight obviously is keeping your calories at maintenance, which is what that one is. And building muscle, we've got a 500 calorie surplus basically. And so these ones, this is what kind of looks like. So you can see there's cook at home or there's order meals. So basically there's the two options there. And it's really user-friendly, super user-friendly in terms of how it all kind of works. So it should be nice and easy to follow. Challenge meal plans, these are the ones I spoke about. So they get sent to you. They come tight, what are they called? Airtight, I forget the name of it for it. But then when you actually open up the Super Fresh, I've tried them. They're really good. They don't use any brands that aren't high quality. They taste really good. If you haven't used them before, they're great. They've come a long way from where they were 5-6 years ago. And the brands they use for these ones are top-end brands. Okay, challenge requirements. INBODY composition scans. So with your INBODY composition scans, we are doing these next week. I do apologize because we had to work out the dates. So a little issue came up. But we're doing, I think Chatswood is going to be Thursday morning and night next week. And Seaforth is going to be most likely Friday morning, but it might be Wednesday morning. I'll confirm that tomorrow if that's okay. And we'll have it in the studio. So we'll be able to book that in there. They tell you your body fat, your muscle mass, and they give you your visceral fat. And it also helps you understand how much water weight you're holding as well. So I'd highly, highly, highly recommend, no matter what your goals are when we get to the teams, body scans are a brilliant way, one of the best ways to track your progress so you can see how your body's changing. And we actually, for trainers, if we have a before scan and we have an after scan and we know how you've eaten and we obviously know how you've trained, it makes our job so much easier because I can look at 2 scans, I can see how you've progressed and say you've lost 1 kilo and say you wanted to lose, I don't know, 3. We can look at those and go, well, hang on a second. You weren't in a big enough calorie deficit. We know that because you lost 1 or 3 during that time. And maybe we can have a look at your sessions and say, okay, cool. You're doing 4 sessions a week, which is your goal. Maybe we'll add in some walking on the side to burn a few more calories in the week, something like that. It makes it so much easier when we've got more data to play with because we can actually see 2 data points and work backwards from there. All right, so introducing our F45 teams for the 6-week challenge. So this is the exciting new thing which we've been working on the side. We actually wanted to do this last year, but a few lockdowns got to us. So what we're doing is we're going to put people into 3 teams, and we want everyone to, they're going to be teams for the 6 weeks. They all are based on different objectives and have different goals, and you're going to get a team captain with them as well. So team strength, team shred, and team lifestyle. So I'll run through how it's kind of going to look. So team strength, primary objective, improve strength. It's going to be based on max reps. On key exercises weeks 0, 3, and 6. So the way it's going to work, and I've actually got the card on the next slide, so I'll show you exactly how that looks. But there's going to be 5 key exercises. So there's going to be shoulder press, squats. I'll show you in a second. We're going to measure them on week 0, week 3, which is the halfway point, and then week 6. So if you did a bench press and you're doing 20 kilos and you got 5 reps out week 0, we want to try to get 7 reps halfway, and then obviously improve your reps at the end point too. So you actually see that progression over time. The cool thing is once you do this, and I've seen this before when we've done playoffs before and after the challenge, when these exercises come up in the workout, they're the ones you find everyone in team strength are really kind of trying to push them out. So this isn't necessarily putting on muscle. I want to make that really clear. Team strength is about improving your strength. A side part of that could be increasing your muscle. And the difference is going to be your nutrition, not the actual exercises. So in order to put on muscle, you need to be in a calorie surplus. You can be in maintenance and put on strength without putting on size. So that's a really key difference between those two. So I want to make that really, really clear. That's why we've got a female as well on that team one. So main goal is to increase your reps and achieve each checkpoint. Team Shred. So this is what we primarily generally do during the challenges. So objective, lose weight. Measurement, body composition scans. You need to get your scans done. And I'd recommend doing them for team strength anyway. Main goal is to reduce overall body fat levels through the 6 weeks. So we're looking for that body fat percentage drop within that time frame too. So these guys are going to be in a calorie deficit. They will have a scorecard on the in the studio as well, which I'll show you in the next slide. But they're the guys looking to lose weight. Team lifestyle. Team lifestyle. So these are, so we have a third team in there, which is team lifestyle. These are about building healthier habits. So if you're unsure which team to go for, you're not really looking to do a strength piece, maybe not looking to lose weight necessarily, but you still want to be healthier throughout the challenge. This is for you. So we're building healthier habits, and we're going to be basing this on the number of sessions per week. So for those that have done our challenges before, you've seen our emoji posters. These guys are going to be the ones on the posters. We're going to, so say you're aiming for 4 sessions per week. They're the ones that are going to be sticking off and keeping themselves accountable from that throughout each time as well. So we're trying to create sustainable habits to improve overall health and fitness. Team lifestyle. All right, so these are our scorecards, which we'll have in the studio. So when you're in there from tomorrow, we will have, you can see, you've got your registrations for each of the different teams. You can pop your name down there so that way we can get you kind of set up for it. When the challenge starts, we're going to have a actual poster on the wall, which we'll have for team strength, team shred, and then we'll have team lifestyle. On there, everyone's going to get one of these scorecards. If you're on team, let's say you're on team strength, you're going to have that. You're going to put your name on it. Your goal might be to increase 10% of your strength, or to just increase your reps through each of the weeks. And your commitment is, I'm not going to miss Tuesday, Thursday weight days for the entire 6 weeks, or something like that. I'm going to make sure I'm eating in a calorie surplus through the 6 weeks. It's your commitment to yourself. You can write it down, whatever you want to do with it. What's going to happen is at week 0. So if you look at the left-hand side, you've got the different exercises there. The weight is going to be what weight you choose. So let's say I'm doing my dumbbell flat bench press. I might choose 20 kilos. I'm going to test myself week 0, and we'll have them in the studio. So I won't go through that right now, but we'll have that in the studio, and the trainers will help you. And then I'll know what weight I'm doing for weeks 3 and week 6. You can, if you go up in a weight, you can obviously write 20, write 24, whatever you might be doing, or 25, sorry, and move up your weight on each different weeks, so you can see that progressional improvement. And then it's got all the different exercises there, and it's going to be stuck on the wall. So everyone under team strength will have their card on the wall. So every time you walk in, you can see your reps, the visual. So it's going to look quite different to what we had it before. And you also really see your progress over time. So I want to make it fun. I want to make it visual and really keep everyone accountable. That's the point. Team shred, the exact same thing, but different type of goals. So you're going to have your scorecard under your team shred banner. And each of them, there's a number of sessions hit. And now this is a tick or a cross. So this isn't writing down the number of sessions. We can actually, probably the top one you probably could actually. Tick or a cross, weekly number of sessions. Nutrition, 80%. Now the reason I put 80% plus is because it is unreasonable to hit the exact meal plan every single meal for the entire week. It's unreasonable. Hitting 80% of your meal plans without snacking, for example, is more likely, or not snacking much. So if you feel like you're 80% or plus on the meal plans through the week, so you've been very good, but maybe you had a bit of chocolate on Saturday, that's a tick. That's a win. You're in a calorie deficit. You're going to be adding towards your results as well. I don't want you to pull everything back and think that you can't have a sip of wine or any chocolate or anything for the entire 6 weeks. It's just not reasonable. So I put in 80 plus because that's something which is sustainable. Is your sleep on track, tick or cross? Are you getting your whatever your goal is, 6, 7, 8 hours? Water target, 2 to 3 liters plus, tick. And I've put in those top 4, you might have, for those that are really savvy, they're the top 4 in the challenge app as well. So they're actually the 4 categories that are on that one too. So if you're doing it here, you don't necessarily have to do it on the challenge app, but if you want to do both, that's totally fine. I've put in here for Team Shred, actively managing your stress. So I want you, for these guys who are trying to lose weight, think about your stress levels and think what you're doing to manage that. Now, the reason why it's so important, and something that, to be honest, we haven't actually spoken about much in the studio, stress is so closely aligned to weight loss, and it actually affects your body a lot more than people realize. So when you're in a heightened state of stress, which happens a lot when you work too, like I get stressed when I've got too many emails, for example, I'm not up to date with it. Like the things that shouldn't stress you out, stress us out in modern society. You go into this fight or flight, in day-to-day life. And the reason why that's important just to understand is because when you're in a fight or flight kind of scenario, your body stops working as it should. Your metabolism slows down a little bit, your heart rate changes, and you basically aren't as focused on weight loss during that time as well. So it actually changes the way your body works. So it's not saying don't get stressed, it's saying actively manage your stress. So if you have a high pressure job, what are you doing to unwind? You're going for your walks. Training is obviously a really good thing to de-stress. As an example, sleep is obviously quite well aligned to stress too, but just say you actively manage it. Just make you more aware of it, as I said. We're not too much on what to do specifically, but just be aware of it. So there are your teams and your scorecards. Oops, sorry. How to get started, guys. So if you remember, download the challenge app. When you go in the studio from tomorrow, pop your name down, or some people have sent us emails already with what challenge they are on, which is great. So thank you guys. So let us know what team you're on. What's going to happen is they're going to be up in the studio the next couple of days. From Monday next week, we're going to have the actual cards. So when you come in on next week, you're going to have your card, which you're going to have for yourself, assuming your team shred or strength. If you're a lifestyle team, you put your name on the emoji board, and that's going to be yours for the 6 weeks. Pop your name down on there and do your testing for your team strength, and obviously team shred. You put your name down in your goals and pop that on the wall, and then you start your tracking each week too. So that's how you get started. If you're a non-member, please reach out so we can set you up with one of our memberships, which gives you unlimited access to the studio, the challenge app, and obviously the challenge themselves. And we're going to be having allocated team captains, which we'll announce tomorrow for each of the different teams there too. Thank you. That's pretty much everything with, pop this off. That's pretty much everything with the actual challenge itself. But what I'll do, I'll stop the recording, guys. And if you have feel free to ask any questions.